Hello, hello. We're back with another stroll through Reddit. This isn't about ICE. It's just about r/complaints, which is a left-wing echo chamber, one of many to be sure on Reddit. But this one, there's plenty of threads that aren't about Republicans being Nazis, except they never get any traction, which I find funny. Now, some of them are posted pretty recently, to be fair, but you don't trust or you don't hate or distrust science. 5 upvotes, 0 comments. I'm tired of pretending customer service is the problem. 2 upvotes, 0 comments. There's quite a few of these. Height-shaming men should stop being normalized. 6 upvotes, 2 comments from 3 hours ago. That's apparently not something that the people on r/complaints can agree with. That you shouldn't shame people because of their natural height. And that's pretty much how all of it goes. Now, this one in particular, as quote, I'm not the first person to say this, but how long will I have to scroll in this subreddit before coming across something that's not political? Well, as I just pointed out, there's plenty of things that aren't political. It's just that no one ever looks at them because all of the people here are bots or are bot-brained, and all they care about is raging against Republicans and saying they're the fault of everything. Now, this post here is actually, thread. This thread is actually the highest effort of all of the ones I saw today because it has more than one paragraph and pretty decently sized paragraphs at that. It is, however, still a very lowbrow attempt to pull at people's heartstrings. Well, Redditors probably don't have hearts by and large, but to manipulate them, or at least to feed into their frenzy by saying something about feeding children is basically the go-to, and then the dictator Trump is giving money to foreign countries and destroying the White House and such and such. Like, these people never keep track of anything any previous president did. They'll never talk about anything that Obama did overseas or any kind of deals he made. They just want to talk about Obamacare and green energy. And yeah, the good things Obama did are great. But let's not pretend that Democratic presidents didn't do anything bad either. I mean, they did. And it's interesting how fast people forget that, or at least how quickly they are to deny it and hide it. America does not starve by accident. It starves because Republicans decided that the ballroom matters more than the breadline. The party that claims moral superiority has chosen to let people suffer while they feast. And building a ballroom doesn't mean that they're feasting. And all of the politicians, Kamala Harris, Biden, all of the people paying for the left wing's party, all of the CEOs, everyone pumping money into that, they're all feasting every day because they're all rich. They're all eating lobster, which is probably still expensive. I don't know. I don't really eat giant sea cockroaches, so I wouldn't know the pricing of it. I assume it's still expensive. I showed this in another video, probably uploaded already. It's still there. Of course, every Trump voter is a piece of Nazi garbage. No reason to go back into it. But like I said, low effort. I actually forgot about this one. This one's a good 2.5 odd paragraphs, really. It just says, conservatives are effing cowards. For 20 years, we've been bombarded with our endless ranting about being the alpha dogs who just need to lay down the law with a bunch of degenerates. And for 20 years, everyone who's not a Democrat has been bombarded with women should be able to do whatever they want. If you claim you're the other gender, you're the other gender. Science doesn't exist if I say so. You should be able to unalive your unborn child and the child of a man without him having any control over it. All of this has been like God, we get into the sports, the gender neutral sports, and the bathrooms and puberty blockers and all of that. That's what everyone who isn't a Democrat, not to say Republican, everyone who isn't a Democrat has been bombarded with that for 20 years. Them talking about laying down the law with a bunch of degenerates is because you have people walking around with dog masks and in public in the middle of the street, dressed up in a rainbow parade. You're going to say that's not degenerate? Okay. Well, I'd love to hear the argument for that. But until I hear an argument for how that's not degenerate, I'm just going to ignore your point. So another really low bar here. Another half paragraph, really. Just F you for voting in an insurrectionist and destroying our country. I mean, the Democrats seem like they want insurrection just as much as the right wing does at this point. Or really, I guess since the right wing is the leader, the leading party, the left wings are the ones who are the insurrectionists. I don't really care about the technicalities of it because they're both getting too violent. Trump hijacking of the Trump's hijacking of the Republican Party is the worst thing that's ever happened to the U.S. Oh man, you know this person is out there comparing everything and everyone to Nazis, Hitler, World War. Oh my God, you're just like Hitler right now. Oh my God, that's totally something Hitler would say. You know that this is what this person does. You know it because they clearly don't know anything about the history of the worst thing that's ever happened to the U.S. Really? Really? And people just straight up agree. Not even a question. People who have voted for Trump have done more damage to America than Osama bin Laden and ISIS combined. People who vote, how do you even quantify that? It's not close. The call is coming from inside the house. Well, people said the same thing about Osama bin Laden and ISIS, just to be clear. But yeah, they're saying it's not even close. The Republicans are so much worse than confirmed, globally confirmed terrorists. What a wild thing to say. You know what's even more crazy? Historians regarded Trump as one of the top worst presidents in the USA. I think George Washington would have absolutely hated the guy. This person is actually trying to say that the Democratic Party of the USA is representative of George Washington. That that is unbelievable. They're actually taking a dead man and making them their mascot. I mean, these two people here, they have just nailed George Washington to their own inverted cross, and they're now going to parade him around as their icon. What lunacy! To put words in the mouth of a dead man. But why bother with a dead man when you can just use what is very obviously AI? I mean, go ask AI, and this is what they'll tell you. They'll word things like this: event colon blah, blame colon blah. They've posted what is clearly AI with the title of America is becoming a dictatorship and Republicans are the effing problem. Fascism is capitalism in crisis. And someone responds with arm up. I mean, they're just straight up saying, get a gun and get ready to attack the right wing. Rise up. Let's turn these complaints into action. You know, it's funny they say that because let's see the rules of this subreddit. Posts, as opposed to comments, must be in the form of a complaint. It should be easy for a Redditor, right? Number 2, no threatening or advocating for violence or related behavior. You know, if I went down through the comments of all of these, I'd bet I'd find a lot of people saying that they should get guns and rise up and turn their complaints into action. People who support Trump are not Christian. Just like I believe it was Brian Andrews, the country singer. They have the right to tell you that your God does not allow you into his heaven. Unless you obey the rules laid out by some random nobody on r/complaints. Only then will you be allowed into your God. Well, sorry. I guess they're not your God because you're not a real Christian. I mean, it's wild to me. It's fascinating to me. How can you sit here and say things for a God? You're talking for a God. And you think people are going to respect that? You think people are going to say, oh, this random person on Reddit putting words in the mouth of a God. They're not even actually putting words in their mouth. They're just saying, where does it say? Where does it say? Where does it say? Where does it say? I mean, I understand what they're saying. And there are a lot of Christians, religious people in general, who do abuse the collectivism. They abuse the fact that they are a hive mind to their own extent to push certain things and get away with certain things and change certain things. But that's the same for all religions. If you're going to attack Christianity based on that, you need to attack all of them, including Islam. So, good luck with that. You're not picking a side there if you're attacking everybody, and if you're attacking everybody, you're sure to lose, although the Democrats already are. So, before I close, I wanted to show this post. Now, this was 5 minutes ago, not as of recording, but as of like 12 hours ago when I opened this in the morning before I left. This was posted 5 minutes after I went to r/complaints, and I thought, wow, I feel like it's serendipitous that this post was just there. No comments yet, no upvotes yet. No one had looked at it. Obviously, it's not political. Well, it is political, but it's not the kind of political they want. So this is a post about someone explaining how they grew up and people weren't really racist. The earliest memories of politics was when 9/11 happened. So this person's probably in their like mid-30s, I would guess. I don't know if they say exactly. They talk about how there wasn't really any racism in their school. They grew up in a white neighborhood, then they moved to, I think it was actually the reverse. They grew up in a black neighborhood in elementary school or something, moved to a white neighborhood later on. In the college years, they had talks about Muslim and Islam starting to become more popular, starting to heal relationships over 9/11 and all that. They're even quite thoughtful regarding COD lobbies, saying that most of the racist trolls were probably just trash talking and not genuinely racist, which everyone knows that's true, but most people don't care. They'll simply call you a racist anyway. They'll say there's no exception. There's no such thing as mad bants, no such thing as trash talking. You deserve to be punished regardless. And that's where we get the point we're at now, where everything is censored. But they go on to kind of say, like, the general beliefs, I think, of a lot of people in the USA right now, and maybe outside of it. I can't speak for people outside of it, where, like, I'm tired of watching people apologize for being white and apologizing for having white privilege. Tired of having to apologize when I want to secure borders. They say a lot of things that I resonate with. I think they also said something about selling drugs, which I don't resonate with. But they say not everyone who is racist is right, and not everyone who is left is a woke, crazy person. This is what I overall want to get across with my channel, because it's not really about targeting Reddit or the left wing. It's about targeting disinformation. I know right now people are going to look at my channel and say that I'm hyper right wing, that I'm a liar, all that stuff. They're probably going to say that I actually made this post or something. There's no way I can disprove that. I resonated with it, and I wanted to just go ahead and make this video because of it. I did reload it recently, so it is 9 hours ago, nearly 10 hours ago, and you can see it's got 8 whole upvotes and 102 comments. Some of the comments are civil and thoughtful. Others just disown him. Too effing bad. I'm not normalizing Nazis. I mean, no one ever said that. They didn't say that. Half of this country supports Nazis and PDFs. If you find yourself on that half, don't be surprised when you're called a Nazi and a PDF. Hard to reconcile with people like you. Well, first of all, to reconcile, as I assume they mean to restore to friendship or harmony, would have been impossible with someone like that poster, because I doubt they have an understanding, any kind of notion of friendship or harmony with anyone. But let's remember that reconcile has other meanings, like to cause, to submit, or to accept something unpleasant, which is what the Democrats have been trying to do to everyone for many years now, and it's now what the Republicans are doing to other people, mostly Democrats, in response. You don't want to reconcile? Well, you're trying to kill off the majority of the people, and I mean that literally. You're trying to actually remove them from life. You really do want to reconcile with them in the first meaning of the word, because people like you're not going to be the last one standing. You're trying to create conflict, and the people who don't want conflict on the side of the Democrats are going to happily shove you in the firing line. So, maybe you should reconcile in the first sense of the word, while it's still a possibility. So, I had originally finished the video with this, thinking that this was, it's relatively good news. It's close enough to good news. So some woman tries to trip a police officer, and she gets her just desserts. She gets arrested, and you can see it's on r/what could go wrong. You can see the link right there if you want to check it yourself. I'd recorded it. I'd recorded all of this with it, and there it is. So I had this feeling about it, though, and I recorded this a couple days ago, and probably a couple more days before I posted. I just had this feeling. Yes, you can see this here, so in fairness to the mods, you can see that there, but I had this feeling about it, so I decided to check it. I just decided to type it in and check it, and oh, there it is, removed by moderator. It breaks rule number 7. Now, rule number 7 is there's no TikTok posts or plugs for content creators or whatever, which you can see right there. The thing is, in about 20 seconds of scrolling down through the sub, and that's posted 3 days ago. It's cross post. It's got Just Low Riders TV right there. This is posted 2 days ago. It's got Lashy Bills. I'm not sure what that says right there. This posted 2 days ago. It's got FYPX Chaos right there. This posted 2 days ago. Cringy posting right there. This is posted a month ago, and I saw another one with the same logo. Vonneval? I no idea what this even is, if that's TikTok or what. I mean, it looks like it was recorded 30 years ago. I have no idea. But it looks like a watermark to me. It looks like a content plug to me. I don't know why one was removed and the others weren't, unless there are other reasons, like because it's a cop arresting somebody. I mean, it may be political, it may not. The point is, I've had to remove it, and I had that feeling, the feeling that it had been removed. What could go wrong, indeed? Well, I've decided to end with a different, less optimistic outlook on life. Another r/complaints post made a couple days after a day or two after the previous recordings of them, and well, here it is. Here's r/complaints in its entirety. This is what I was talking about. Someone making a post that says Charlie Kirk was not a good person. You know, a lot of the posts I've seen on threads I've seen on our complaints, they start with, "Don't take it down." So, what authority do you have to command the moderators not to take it down? You are a literal nobody, in the grand scheme of the world, but also in this specific thread, in this specific subreddit. A lot of people seem to just be starting with "Don't take my post down," and all of these people who think that they're smart for saying Charlie Kirk was a bad person. Well, does insulting all of MAGA make you smart? Does insulting Charlie Kirk's physical appearance have anything to do with Charlie Kirk's message? I mean, they're literally glorifying death and murder, and they're vindicating and validating it. How can they justify this? They don't need to, because the mods won't ban them no matter what they say, as long as it's about how all the Republicans deserve to be wiped off the face of the planet. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Take care now. Bye-bye then.